The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.
All right, hanging out here with my man Gino Visconti. Gino, fun guy.
Hey, buddy.
And this is a really nice thing. So, I went to a cryptocurrency conference a few months back in the Bahamas, as everyone knows. It's a great shows, and really it was a way of me delving in and learning. And one of the things I love to do here on the program is to teach everyone as I'm learning these things, not to act like an expert at all, because I'm no expert. But you know what? There's a technology here, and there's a big percentage of the world delving into this. And I thought, well, maybe you should as well. And then through those conversations and through networking and just meeting great people over in that conference, I ran into, my next main guest from Coinberry. Let's welcome Evan Kuhn. How you doing, Evan?
I'm doing really
I'm sorry. There's just a mic right in front of the on-air button, right to your left, right there. Yeah, there we go.
Make it turn red.
Yeah.
Are we good?
We're good.
There you go.
I'm doing well, Todd. Thank you for having us. Very impressive intro. I liked how you did all the commercials live on the spot there. I know so many other hosts, they pre-record that stuff, but you're doing it live. The real deal. That's awesome.
The real deal. Yeah, we just talk about things, and we talk about things very honestly in terms that we work with sponsors. I think people figure that out. That's, it's a way of advertising, obviously. And I always kind of say to people, like, support the sponsors. The more you do that, the more we'll keep this thing going. And that's really, the only way to talk about this stuff. So it's real, it's honest. And you guys have a really interesting business in Coinberry. And I think what I love about it is that the space is confusing to some, and it's daunting.
Confusing to me too.
I'm raising my. I'm like, yeah.
But you and Evan, remind me your last name here.
It's
Andrei. Evan, sorry, Andrei.
It's Poliakov.
Poliakov. So Evan and Andrei, you started Coinberry, which is now like an easy access, really, for people to dabble into Bitcoin or Ethereum, sort of the two main coins that are traded with the highest market caps. Is that correct?
Yeah. So basically, Coinberry, the whole idea we had when we started the company was to solve that problem of it being so difficult and just convoluted and complex for people to get into the space. And we just wanted to strip all of that away and just to make this really, really easy way for people to dabble, in cryptocurrencies if they want to play around a little bit. And that was the whole philosophy behind Coinberry, how to make it fun, how to make it simple, and that's sort of what we strive to achieve every day.
Yeah, and to add to that, it actually pretty much started. We were at Ultra Music Festival in Miami. And we had this ridiculous bar tab that we had to settle with a bunch of our friends. Yep. And we had Americans, Canadians, people from all around. And in Canada, we have e-transfers, interact transfers to send money. But in the States, our American friends couldn't accept that. So we realized Bitcoin was really the only way to settle this tab. So we all signed up for Coinbase at the time, got bread wallets, and we're able to convince all our friends to get on board with this, and we realize if we're here doing this now, there's a market for this.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing that I've learned with this cryptocurrency world is it really is a world that allows people to connect.
Maybe if they don't want it to be so difficult, they shouldn't have a daunting name like cryptocurrency. It's crypto, maybe it's easy currency, which is what you pay my wife with. But that's another. No, okay.
Gino,
crypto is scary.
That's Andrei. Is that word itself crypto scary? Do you think?
I think it all comes from a place of it's just a new technology, and people, for the most part, they're afraid of anything that's new, right? So as people get to understand things, they get more comfortable, right? So what you call, digital currencies, that basically Visa, your plastic cards, that could be scary as well if you don't know, what that's all about. But as you get to know the technology more and you get to use it, really, at the end of the day, it doesn't we all use email. We don't know how email works. We all use it. So the same thing here. As you get more accustomed to using the technology, the fear kind of goes away.
And by email, he means porn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When we started the company, all our lawyers were telling us use digital currencies. People are afraid of crypto, but that just didn't stick. I like saying cryptocurrency. The term isn't going anywhere.
It's funny that the name never bothered me. It was sort of the where is this money going that scared me when I first went into it. I've recently opened up a Coinberry account and I've actually transferred money from another exchange into it and watched that happen. But it takes some time. It took about a half an hour. Can you explain why that process would be a little bit different? And is that maybe where some of the fear comes into taking money and putting it or moving it around?
Well, so a Bitcoin transaction. Essentially, there's a public ledger, and you've got your public key and your private key, and your private key is what allows you to send funds, and your public key is what allows you to receive funds. And you want to be very careful not to mix those up for obvious reasons. So, yeah, it can be daunting. Like, if you give your private key out, your funds are essentially gone. And,
in Gino's case, that's like you not giving your home address. So when it's like your mistress, you know what I'm saying?
It was state mandated. I'm not allowed to give anyone under 18 my home address.
No, geez, okay.
It's weird.
But to that point, like when you send an e-transfer or when you send out a wire, that e-transfer is not instantaneous. You got to wait.
That's a great point.
Wire, you got to wait like 24, 48 hours sometimes. E-transfer, you got to wait. Up to 24 hours sometimes. Here you're talking about half an hour. That's way faster than e-transfer, right? So.
Well, I think, and we were talking earlier in the program about stigmas that Gino does Gino's picks. He's big into gambling and betting in the NFL
because I'm
and
cool.
stuff. He's very cool. Obviously, with weed becoming legal and stigmas and stuff. And I think that's the thing that a lot of the media has done with the cryptocurrencies is they put it into people's minds that there's a fear you could lose this money or get hacked. And you over at Coinberry, Evan and Andrei, you're basically disproving that completely, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, what we're doing is 100% of our user funds we hold in cold storage. So on our hot wallets, that's our money. And let's explain about what Coinberry essentially is. And so Coinberry is a mix of Coinbase plus Expedia. So we're an aggregator. We plug into multiple exchanges, and we allow the user to use our float on multiple exchanges to get the best buy or sell rate.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So basically, because there's a bunch of different exchanges in this space, and that's one thing people might not understand, you'll find the best rate what Bitcoin or Ethereum is trading at to make sure they're getting the best value at that point.
Yeah, and essentially in our hot wallets, if one of those are hacked, it's essentially a major exchange getting hacked. And
when I think hot wallet, I think something completely.
Okay, you're Gino.
I mean, he's saying you're like a cryptocurrency savings and loan in a way, right? Like you can put all the money in there, and then people, like they can hang out. It can hang out there, and then when they need it, they can go and get it. Or no, am I making a terrible analogy?
No, that's a great analogy. So at the end of the day, I mean, we solve one very simple problem, and we basically provide a solution for people to buy their first Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's what they do on our platform. They can they use their Canadian dollars and they can buy and they can sell the Bitcoin Ethereum and take the Canadian dollars off the platform.
Right.
What they do afterwards, once they've bought that Bitcoin Ethereum, that's totally up to them. There's there's exchanges out there that you can trade altcoins as a whole. Like there's a whole space of what you can do. Our focus is just to provide that gateway into that world, right?
Yeah, or like the bridge to the crypto or the gateway drug that puts you
Yeah.
down that vortex.
Well, but you know what? It's you talk about it in a way though that I think is important for the space because you want people to get it, but you want people to get in it safely. So you're saying, just understand a simple technology, only 2 coins. The fact that there are thousands of coins now in some of these other exchanges, you watch them, people don't even know how to read, stock markets, let alone now these exchanges that are almost 10 times the size, it feels like. It's, again, I use that word daunting. And that's what I love about Coinberry, because when I speak to my audience, I speak to them very honestly, which is you might want to just not go for a sushi dinner, but spend that $150 and just try it. See what it's like because the technology's not going away. And I think that's where Coinberry comes into play here for me, which is if you want to dabble safely, then you can decide what to do with your money. Maybe even just put in 100, take it right out 20 minutes later just to see what happened, where that went to, trade it back to Canadian.
You put it in the hot wallet and you take it right out a minute later. Then you put it back in the hot wallet and you take it out a minute later.
You need another.
And you just keep putting it in and taking it out.
See, now he's doing it. It's not just me.
You need another one of our sponsors then called Promescent.com. That makes you last longer in the bedroom. It's so
now
true.
we're all on the same page. Okay.
It's. Do you feel this space is being much more accepted now, in terms of just for media, for the regular person to get involved?
Yeah, totally. I mean, even if you compare it to last year. When we were starting the company, the space has changed tremendously, and I mean, there's just so much more news, there's so much more people that are getting into it. When you talk about financial institutions, they're coming around to being more open to it. The government in Canada is has been quite supportive when you see what's happening in other countries. So overall, I think the space is advancing quite a lot and in a very positive direction. So we're very happy with what we're seeing, and
Well, what's wild is if you go to the Hilton Midtown right here in New York City, the consensus is going on, which is this expo that started, I think, 4 or 5 years ago with only 400 people. There, I haven't done the numbers, but just if you go there, you can't move. It's like
8,000.
There must be and you know
all
these,
cryptocurrency people.
It's all cryptocurrency people,
wow.
and they're from all different parts of the world. They're obviously men, females. It's anyone really can get involved, but now you're seeing that everyone has got involved on some representation or another.
And I'll add, before it was really tough to get involved. Like signing up for an exchange, get your passport, you have to write down the exchange, the date you're signing up, take a selfie, send that in, wait a week. And at Coinberry, we're working towards eliminating that. We're working towards instant verification.
What's the deal with mining these things? Like you could mine a Bitcoin. Can you mine in a what is it, Ethereum?
Yeah, you can
mine Ethereum.
Can you mine any of these things?
No, some are what's called proof of stake, which is you're putting up your collection of coins to verify the transactions, where proof of work is where the mining comes in. So you're using electricity to verify.
Yeah, because it's like that's another thing that's just daunting. It's the perfect word. It's like well, or you could just get one of these setups that mines Bitcoins. You're like, it's like, why would you do that?
The idea is you don't need to know how an email works in order to send an email.
No, you're right. You're right.
Same with Bitcoin, right?
There's another side to the business. Actually, I met.
Trust me, you don't need to know how football works to gamble. Do you have a coin? Flip it.
You mean you didn't play in the NFL one day, Gino, with that physique?
I've said that. I've been yelling at people about football. I'm like, in all my days of coaching the San Diego, now Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, you didn't. No, I did not.
And why is Coinberry? Did you guys decide, Andrei and Evan, to do it where it was this sort of real? Well, I understand why you did it, to make it easy to sign up and get verified instantly. Which, by the way, I did. I was shocked, that there was no red flag.
As was I. I was very surprised by that, Todd.
Bilal got signed up, verified right away. So I understand why you did that, but why just the two coins? Why, what was really the premise behind that in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum?
So I think the main point is that, like you mentioned earlier on, those are the two most popular coins. Those are the coins that you can use to trade all the other altcoins in the world. And our whole goal, as I mentioned, is just to be that gateway into that space. So, buying Bitcoin and Ethereum from us is basically, it gives the user the tools that they need, the coin that they need, and then to go trade and get all the other altcoins that they may need.
Do you warn people and in terms of being careful, doing due diligence? That we've heard and you see it in the news, these ICO scams and things like that. Are you cautious about that as well? Is that a fair question?
Well, we tend not to get involved with that. We try and just be a neutral platform and not, because also the worst thing would be we don't want to accuse a project of being a scam when it turns out to be legitimate. So we just no comment on.
Okay, I appreciate
that. To your point, that's a valid point. The space is very new, and like with any new space, you have to, do your due diligence. Do your reading. If you're gonna invest a little bit, like you mentioned, invest 100, a couple, 500. Don't go and mortgage your house. Obviously, don't do something stupid like that. But be reasonable and be cautious, like with any, with any investment that you really do, investment advice.
Well, no, and you're right with any investment, and I think that's the thing. It may seem easy just to move money around, but be careful and read up on stuff and learn about management teams, and which is why I love working with the two of you guys, because great reputation and full transparency within Coinberry, and that is rare on the exchanges, isn't it? And a lot of these other places where you can go and buy Bitcoin, and you can write on your website, you can find out who the management team is. You're coming on a radio show, fully disclosing yourself, and I think that's super rare. Am I wrong to think that? I'm not just kissing your ass here, guys, but I really do think that's rare.
Yeah, the industry's been underground for the last decade. You can go back to Satoshi Nakamoto.
No one knows who. Yeah. Is it a he or she even?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin called a Satoshi?
That's right. Yeah.
Boom goes the Gino
Gino.
Mike. That's the one thing I knew.
Yeah, but to your point, that when we started Coinberry, our whole sort of philosophy from day one was, let's do a project that that is above ground. Everything is legal. Everything is compliant. Let's not cut any corners, as tempting as it is. There's a lot of money, but that's the philosophy that we've sort of been using from day one, and that's why we wanted to be from day one. We wanted to have our faces out there. We do conferences, we come out and we do the talks, because we want people to feel comfortable with what they're doing, and we want people to know who we are, and that we're just regular guys that want to provide a really cool service.
And I really love that, because you think of the banks and even how banks advertise you. They have their big comfy chairs and they sort of welcome you. And honest to God, like I that's what I sense in Coinberry. And listen, since I've been doing this and sort of got into the space and put myself out there, hosted events within the space. Talk about that party we're hosting Wednesday, by the way. Anthony Dioro's Ethereum party on a boat. We should try and get you on. Well, I don't know if they'll let you on it.
Come on. I can swim.
But my point being is that I've actually turned down working with people because it just felt a bit off, right? Whereas you guys, I love the fact right away you said, listen, we want to make this a simple procedure for people. We want to make sure that it is again, full disclosure. People know what they're getting into. They know who they're working with, and they know where they're putting money. And good luck to them. Really, are you bullish on the market? Do you? I mean, are you optimist in terms of where we're going in the space?
Yeah, personally, of course. Yeah, personally. Yeah, I think the technology as a whole and the space is super exciting. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think between when the internet came out and there's nothing else that's been around that's have been so uprooting the.
I'll go one step further.
Groundbreaking.
Once in a millennium.
Wow,
opportunity.
That's how big this is.
Like this is.
So why do you think that, Evan?
Well, we're moving, like if you look at the movement from the barter system to giving someone a gold coin and saying you no longer have to bring 10 chickens to the market to get that goat, you can just bring this piece of gold.
I would try and bring a goat. He never made it. It's a long story. Okay. And that goat lied.
Yeah,
what happened?
And you can look at how that trickled down to other areas of society. Like all of a sudden, collecting coins, okay, they could charge a sales tax, which was no longer possible before. So same with crypto, like it's going to affect our lives in ways we can't even imagine.
I listened to one of these sort of debates last night here for Consensus, and it was really interesting. One of the individuals on stage, he was talking about that if there's another epic collapse like there was in 2008 in terms of the markets and stuff, he said you might not get a government bailout this time. That's traditionally what's always happened. Whenever there's been a market turn and it's everything's just gone down.
And the market's at an all-time high here now, so and they're wondering if that's going to burst. Yeah.
And basically what he said is he really believes that the Bitcoin community, with the influx of money that they have, will be the ones to do the bailout. That's what his thoughts were, if that ever happens again. And that will ultimately get the respect of the Bitcoin community that maybe some, especially the bankers and the Goldman Sachs types and stuff, maybe or the Warren Buffetts haven't given it. And he wouldn't be surprised if that could be a scenario, a likely scenario that would play out. And I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at it in terms of there's a lot of money in that space, and there's a lot of people now worth a lot of money because of that, and they might be the ones actually ultimately saving this system one day. So, I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but it's a scenario that could potentially be.
Yeah, you never know. But I still think we're such early stages. And if you look at the market caps of some of these coins, like they pale in comparison to the Tesla stocks, the Apple stocks, all those Fortune 500 companies.
Well, it's a very exciting time, and Coinberry, Evan and Andrei hanging out with us, have actually an awesome announcement here that is something we're going to be doing all week live in New York City as Consensus goes on. And who wants to do the honors?
This is called the reveal in the business, people.
This is a reveal right now.
Yeah, I'll do my best. We'll kind of making this up as we go. But yeah, we'd like to give away some BTC. We're thinking $500 worth. And the way that's going to work is you're going to have to sign up for a Coinberry account, then tweet at the Todd Shapiro Show and at coinberry.io. And what are we doing? Retweets?
Yeah, I mean, let's basically the more you retweet, the higher chance of being chosen. But we're gonna go through all the people that have signed up, and the first 100 people
are eligible.
To win the $500 worth of Bitcoin that will be deposited into their Coinberry account.
I love it,
and I guess we'll announce the winner on Thursday.
Yeah, because they're coming back Thursday. You're here all week. If we're all alive by then, it's gonna be a fun week. Let's be honest.
Last man standing.
But that's great. And what we're gonna do is we'll support that through our Twitter accounts. We're gonna remind people to at Coinberry.io. The website is Coinberry.com, and follow at Todd Shapiro Show and at Coinberry.io. and then we're going to do that announcement. So I'll do the original tweet at some point. The more retweets, the first, 100 then to sign up to the Coinberry.com website, and it's simple to get verified. And if you do all those steps, you will then qualify to win $500 worth, not 500 BTC.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I think the company would be broke, but you'll win $500 worth. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't even realize you can have fractions of BTC of Bitcoin. It's so interesting. The general public still thinks
you could buy a millionth of a Bitcoin. That's what someone told me, and it's called, named after, what's the guy's name?
Satoshi,
named after the founder.
Yeah.
That's a weird story,
It's actually 1/100th of a million.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
that's what it is?
Yeah, it's even smaller. Yeah.
Jesus.
Is
Shocking. I was wrong about that?
Is there actually a Satoshi? Do we know that? Is that part of the beautiful magic of this?
Yeah, I think on Wikipedia there's like 7 people that are in the running to be Satoshi.
Claiming.
Wow.
Satoshi. Yeah.
Every once in a while, someone gets accosted by the media outside their house, and they think they found the real Satoshi.
Hence the crypto. More crypto. Cryptic crypto.
Interesting point you were mentioning about how 2008 and the buzz that happened there. So Bitcoin was actually came to be around that same time as a response to the fact that there's a big fuck up on the in the classical sort of economic model.
Well, and I think that's a good way of putting it is people want to control. Really? Oh, totally, dude.
No, I just like hearing the term "fuck up" and classical economic model.
You don't hear that at Yale, okay? But no, I think that's again, people wanted their free market. They wanted their control, and I say this passionately, but you can't. There's these big banks and these big bankers, and there's a whole system there set up actually for you to fail. And I really believe that there's another system that people are afraid of that's not set up for you to fail, set up for you to understand and learn and grow with the technology. And Coinberry's made that very easy for you to do. Thank you very much, both Evan and Andrei, and thanks again. 500, a Shapiro Show listener. I guess anyone when they eventually get through Twitter, if it gets into their followings, has an opportunity.
Now, is that American or Canadian?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a very good question. So right now, Coinberry is just for a Canadian audience.
Yeah, so it has to be CAD.
It has to be Canadian.
Okay, good question. Fair question.
Just trying to help you.
Yeah,
just trying to make things a little less cryptic.
I love how we're doing the contest rules right on the radio. It's amazing. Well, we can't wait to give that away on Thursday to one lucky winner. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was a good, interesting, informative talk. I do appreciate it.
The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.